Hi, everybody. Miss L here. So, today is the big day where you will receive all the information and details for your very last assignment of the year, your very last project, your culminating project that you've been working on and waiting for all year long, your Smart Car Capstone project. Of course, it's a team project. There are two components to it, the PowerPoint component and the live presentation via Zoom. So there will be a presentation. You will present with your team using Zoom in front of business partners and, of course, myself, where you will be acting as consultants for the smart car company and you will be presenting to smart car executives. So essentially, this is what you will picture. Smart Car, the company based here in the US, they are debating, they are thinking of expanding, and they are interested in expanding their operations to the country that was assigned to you. They are hiring you, a consulting firm, global expansion consultants, global business strategy consultants, to do the research and provide a proposal on how to successfully enter the market in that country, how to promote the smart car, how to price the smart car, what modifications need to be made, what cultural aspects are important to be aware of. So your job is to do that research, and now you are getting together and presenting your findings to the smart car executives. So again, you are consultants, you've conducted the research on the country and created a plan, a market entry strategy plan to introduce the smart car in that assigned country. And you will present your plan to the executives of a smart car company, who will be your judges watching the presentation. Presentations will take place on Tuesday, May 26th and Wednesday, May 27th. I will post on Adsby a sign up genius for you to schedule your presentation day and time. Times will range anywhere from 9 a.m. all the way through 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There will be 30-minute time blocks that you can reserve. So very important that you talk to your teammates, find out a date and time that everybody is available, and then go ahead, access the sign up genius and schedule your presentation. It's on a first come first serve. So if the time you wanted is already been taken by someone else, you have to pick a different time. Okay, all time slots already have judges who signed up for. They are waiting to watch your presentations and very excited to be there. And I am very excited to see what you have to share with us. So let's go through the requirements for this project. So you will see attached on Adsby, along with the agenda, along with this video, and along with the sign up genius, will be the outline, which is right here in front of us. By the way, I will also post a simple presentation video. We watched that video beginning of the school year from NAF, where a group of students is delivering a presentation. I will put that up on Adsby as well, so you can use it as a guideline for your presentation. But I'm sure you would do a much better job than that, the students acting in that video. So here it is. As usual, every time we have a component of the Capstone project, you will receive a memo coming from the Vice President of International Expansions, Annabelle Okoki, directed to you, Global Business Strategy teams. And it's in regard to the Smart Car Global Entry Strategy. I will let you read the memo on your own with your teams. I'm simply going to highlight, just to make this video a little shorter, highlight the important information over here. Okay? So, big thing that's important to keep in mind, it's highlighted in red. Your presentation should be between 7 to 10 minutes long. So you want to have a detailed presentation. There are teams of 4 sometimes teams of three, sometimes teams of five students presenting. Everybody should present. Everybody should have an equal part in the presentation as far as the amount of time that they're speaking. The delivery of the presentation should be equally divided to all team members. So, in order for that to happen and the information to be covered thoroughly, we are estimating that you will take no less than 7 minutes, but you don't want to go beyond 10 minutes because, again, you would have only 25 minutes in the Zoom channel for you to introduce yourselves, share your PowerPoint to everybody who's watching, present, and then answer any questions that the judges may have. So 7 to 10 minutes is how much your presentation should last. A 2 minute presentation, 3 minute presentation is way too short. Beyond 10 minutes, we don't have time for that. So the requirements, like I said, you will have a PowerPoint. You will submit the PowerPoint to ADSB. Now, please, please, please use the submit button. Do not send the PowerPoint to me as a private message. I cannot assign a grade when you submit it that way. And it takes longer for me to be able to grade you because I have to keep going back and forth and asking you to please submit it on the proper button. So please submit using the submit button. Your final PowerPoint is due Friday, May 22nd. Okay, May 22nd, 11:59. Please submit it by Friday. I would like to review the PowerPoints to start looking over them before the presentations on Tuesday. So Friday, if you can have them submitted to ADSB by Friday, will be wonderful. Each slide must contain comprehensive speaker's notes. So in each slide, under the notes section, you must include the speaker's notes. What is it that each speaker is covering during that slide? Put your notes in there. I will be checking for that. There should be graphics in some of your slides, not necessarily in every single one of them, but you should make your presentation appealing, interesting, creative, and adding illustrations help that happen. So consider adding graphs, charts, pictures, any kind of illustrations, even sound when appropriate in your PowerPoint to make it more visually appealing. And as an extra credit, usually this is a requirement, but this year, because of the current situation, we are making an optional component. I really, really hope that most of you will include this because it is a fun, it shows your creativity, it shows a little bit of the personality of your team, to include a video. And this video should be a short 30 second video showcasing the smart car in your new country or introducing that smart car to the new audience. So the video, I'm even gonna put it over here, no more than 30 seconds. So you wanna have a 30-second video. You don't wanna have a video that's too lengthy, okay? And again, you can be creative. You can create a mini little movie, but I really look forward to seeing your videos incorporated, like a mini commercial incorporated in your PowerPoint. Now, if you do add the video, again, it must be incorporated in your PowerPoint. You have to embed it. You have to put it in the PowerPoint. Very easy to do, but it needs to be done. Okay, so what should be included in the PowerPoint? Well, if you look, essentially each bullet point represents a slide, okay? So first, you're gonna have an introduction slide where you're gonna introduce your country, introduce yourselves, and you must include the phrasing global market entry strategy for the country of, and then you're going to put your country's name, for the country of India, for the country of Brazil, of Russia, South Korea, whatever, okay? And you also want to include prepared for smart car. I want you to put your team names, the team members' names in there. You know what? Let's add that to this outline. prepared for smart card and team members' names. That must be included in there as well. Okay? All right. So next, you're going to go over your SWOT analysis. Remember, you completed your SWOT? Well, you're going to bring all the information back. So in your SWOT analysis, you can have a slide for each component of the SWOT, or you can put it all in one slide, however you want to do it. So you must include at least two components for each, or two items for each component. So at least two items for strengths, two potential strengths, at least two potential weaknesses, two potential threats, and two potential opportunities. So again, you're going to go through your SWOT analysis. Do not put too many items in each component of the SWOT. We don't need 5 or 6 items. Pick the most important ones, 2 to 3 at most, okay? But of course, at least 2 for each, for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. After the SWOT, you want to include a description of your target market. And this should be a detailed description of your target market. Who is the market that you're going to be trying to target the smart card to? Include needs and wants that the market has, the target market has, values that are important to the individuals in the target market. All of that was created. You should have already discussed and addressed that. So there should be a slide where you really explain in detail all about your target market. Put in demographics, put in characteristics, lifestyle, anything that describes the group of people you are marketing the smart card to. Next, after the target market, you will include your marketing mix proposal. So this is when you go through the 4 P's. So you're going to describe product, pricing, distribution strategy, and promotional strategy. It makes sense to have a slide for each in this category, just because there is quite a bit to address and for each of them. So a slide of each for each will be ideal. So in your product, you must describe at least 2 differentiation suggestions and the reasons behind them. So there's got to be something that you're changing in the car or that you're modifying, even if just slightly. What are some modifications that will have to be implemented in the car? Pricing strategy. Again, how are you going to price the product in that country? What pricing strategy did you and your team selected? Are you using the cost plus analysis? Are you using the premium pricing, penetration pricing? Why? You must explain why you're using. And again, keep in mind in your PowerPoint, you may not put all the detailed explanations. You're just going to put the headlines, some keywords. You really will explain that in your presentation. That's where you're going to put all the juicy details. But you need to list, you need to address, you need to mention. You definitely need to state what pricing strategy you are utilizing in the smart card, and what pricing strategy is complementing the currently used strategy of cost plus. That this right here doesn't mean that you have to use cost plus strategy. It's simply stating that Smart Card USA uses cost plus pricing strategy. What strategy are you using to complement cost plus that's being used here in the US? You will explain and elaborate in your presentation. And explain, of course, why that pricing strategy is appropriate for your target market. If you are targeting to the general population, families that are middle class, workers, not necessarily college educated, earning not that much money, you don't want to use the premium pricing strategy, because that will make your product out of reach for that target. Now, if you're targeting high level executives and people who are the high earners in the country probably using the penetration pricing. Well, who knows? Maybe your explanation would provide will make sense of why penetration pricing, but you might want to try to use the premium pricing. So again, it's up to you. There's no right or wrong pricing strategy selection over here. Your team will decide and will have to explain why. As long as your explanation makes sense, even though may not be what I would initially think would be the best, if your explanation makes sense, that's what counts. That's perfect. Okay. Then we'll go on to distribution. That's the place, the P, the place P of the four Ps, distribution place. What distribution strategies are you using? How are you distributing the product? Where are the consumers or customers find your products to buy? How are they going to buy those products? Are they going to a local dealership? Are they going to a smart car dealership? Where geographically are those locations placed? Is it in the capital? Is it in several cities within the country? Or maybe you're choosing to only sell your cars online. Maybe the customer has to go online and customize their order and pick up their vehicle at a particular day in a local dealer or distribution center. You will determine how that will work. A recommendation, and you have to provide a recommendation and 3 reasons why, or a list of questions that still must be answered about the distribution channels in this country. So maybe you have an idea of how you want this to happen, but there's a lot of unknowns. So if that's the case, go ahead and put out questions. We would like to propose that the smart card is being distributed this way. However, first we need to know this, and this. That is okay as well. And then lastly, promotional strategy. Provide at least 3 ideas appropriate to the target market and why. I would like to see you differentiating direct marketing versus indirect marketing and why you're using those strategies. So again, be specific, be detailed during your presentation. Then next, you will include a slide talking about any ethical considerations that may have to be addressed or considered, or that you may have to be aware of when dealing with that particular country. So you will identify any ethical issue. Maybe, so one example, maybe that country, in that particular country, bribery is common practice. Well, even though bribery may be common practice in that country, is not common practice here in the US. Or I should say it's not a legal practice here in the US. We know sometimes it does happen, but that should not, it's illegal. So the smart car should not engage in bribery, even though that is commonly done with no problems in some countries. So being aware that that happens in the country and bringing up those concerns in your presentation are important. Okay, so just anything that you find out, bribery, nepotism, anything that could be considered unethical practices, child labor. If you are manufacturing the vehicle in a particular in a country that uses child labor, that's something maybe to consider. And then the last slide should be your conclusion slide, and you will actually reflect on everything that you've learned about that country, on the strategies that you are recommending, and you're going to try to identify any pending information that's still needed for the smart card to go ahead and proceed. Maybe they need to identify funding. How are they going to fund this particular project? Maybe they need to work with local lenders in the country, so they will need to get more information on that. Maybe they need to have to work out certain trade barriers. They will have to make some negotiations for the process to go through. So identify and think of at least 3 questions or concerns that must be answered or must be addressed before the expansion to that country. Okay, so go ahead and think with your team what are some possible questions or concerns that still need to be worked out. You don't need to have the answers to those questions. You're just going to pose them so the smart car executives can keep them on the back of their minds before moving on with this. And then, of course, you're going to wrap up your presentation, thank your audience for their time, and open up the floor for questions. And that's it. So that should be what's included in your slide. Again, please make sure that each team member is involved equally, that each team member presents. All team members are expected to present. And if we have a team member missing, I expect the other team members to go ahead and complete the job. Keep in mind, Capstone project is still a requirement for you to become a completer. That does not change. And to become a completer, you need to not only turn in the PowerPoint, but you need to be present and present via Zoom. So go ahead, go to the Sign Up Genius after you talk to your team members, select a presentation date and time, and I cannot wait to see you guys on May 26th and May 27th to watch your final presentations. Oh, very, very important. Almost forgot to mention. Don't forget to dress up because you will appear on camera. You will have to appear on camera, at least to introduce yourselves and then to answer any questions. So go ahead, do that, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Join me on Zoom on Wednesday for any questions at 9 a.m. or Friday, anytime between 10 a.m. and 12 noon for individual one-on-one sessions. Okay? I will see you guys later, and send me any questions on Netsbeam. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.